Welcome back to computer science class. In this video we discuss a new chapter, that is array. Array is a collection of homogeneous elements. Array is a collection of homogeneous elements. Here elements are the variables. Already we know that variables are the name given to the memory location. Variables are the name given to the memory location. In that memory location we store the value. For example, integer of x. Here x is a variable. It is a name given to the memory location. In that memory location we store the integer type value. That is the meaning of integer of x. Then if you declare integer of y, then y is another memory location. In that memory location again we have to store the integer type value. Here x and y both reserves 2 bytes of memory. Y it is 2 bytes, integer reserves 2 bytes of memory. Then similarly, if you want to declare a 50 variables under the integer type, then we have to declare integer of a, b, c, d, like this. We have to declare 50 variables. But it is difficult to remember the all 50 variable names. Hence we go for an array. See the need of array. Say if you want more number of variables under the same data type, then it is difficult to choose the name of the variable, because variable is a name given to the memory location. If it is a more number of variables under the same data type, then it is difficult to choose a name of the variable, and it is also difficult to remember the name of the variable. Hence we use the concept array. In an array, it is a collection of elements. See the definition. Array is a collection of elements. It is a collection of elements. All elements have same name and same data type. So here elements are the variables. See the definition. Array is a collection of elements. Here elements are the variables. Hence array is a collection of variables. Here all variables, that is all elements, have the same name, share the same name and same data type. Hence it is easy to remember the name of the variable. For example, if it is a 5 variables under the integer data type, then we have integer of a of 5. Like this we have to group all the variables. Then there is a 5 variables, all variables share the same data type and same name. Hence it is easy to remember the name of the variable. That is the main advantage of array. In an array, all elements share the same name and same data type. Hence it is easy to remember the name of the variable, and it is easy to handle the variables in a program. Here all variables share the same name and same data type. For example, consider the same one, integer of a of 5. There is a 5 elements. How to know there is a 5 elements? The first element is a of 0, next element is a of 1, next element is a of 2, next element is a of 3, next element is a of 4. So these are the 5 elements under the name a under the data type integer. That is the definition. Array is a collection of elements. Don't confuse with elements. Elements are the variables. These are also called, it is a collection of objects. Variables are also called objects. All elements have the same name. See here, A. All 5 elements have the same name and same data type. See here, the data type is integer. So there is a 5 elements. How to know 5 elements? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are the 5 elements. Then arrays always begins with 0 to n minus 1. It always begins with 0 to n minus 1. This is called array follows zero based indexing. Here is a word index. What is index? Index or subscript. Index or subscript. Here 5, it is called index. Already we know that integer is a data type, A is a name of the array, then 5 is a index or subscript. The index or subscript explains how many elements or how many variables are present under the same data type and same name. Then in an array, index or must be represented inside the square parenthesis. We know the punctuators. Punctuators give syntactic and semantic meaning to the compiler. All index values are must be represented inside the square parenthesis. It is compulsory. Then the data type of an index is always positive integer number. The data type of an index is always positive integer number. That is, in an integer scale, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. There is a 0, then this side minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, so on. What are integer constant? The number without a decimal pointer, but it may be positive or negative. So this is also integer numbers. Minus 1, minus 2 are also integer numbers. But the index value or array subscript is always positive integer number. It is always positive integer number. Then the index or subscript must be represented inside the square parenthesis. So these are the basic rules to define the index. Then the index are always start from 0 to n minus 1. That is called zero based indexing. Zero based indexing. What is zero based indexing? In array, the subscript or index is always starts from 0 to n minus 1. 0 to n minus 1, that is called zero based indexing. What is the meaning of zero based? It is always start from 0 to n minus 1. How it is? See here, there is a 5 elements. How to know there is a 5 elements? The index value is 5, hence the array have 5 elements. What are the elements? A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, A of 3, A of 4. The index value, that is n equals 5, but the last number is n minus 1. It is always start from 0 to n minus 1. So that is called zero based indexing. Array always follows zero based indexing. We must know the 3 things. First one is, array is a collection of elements. All elements have the same name and same data type. If the elements share the same name and same data type, that is called homogeneous collection of elements. That is called homogeneous collection of elements. So simply we say array is a homogeneous collection of elements. That is the first thing. Second one is index or subscript. So here the index or subscript is always positive integer number. It is always a positive integer number. And it is must be written inside the square parenthesis. Must be written inside the square parenthesis. Then array always follows zero based indexing. What is the meaning of zero based? That is the third thing. So zero based indexing. In a zero based indexing, array subscript or array index value is always start from 0 to n minus 1. It is always begins from 0 to n minus 1. If it is a 5 elements, the last element is the 4. If it is a 3 element, last element is the second. If it is a 100 elements, then the last element is the 99. How it is 99? It is from 0 to 99. So it is always 0 based indexing. So it is easy to access the elements. For example, there is a 50 element. There is a 50 elements, 50 variables. How to access the name of an 25th element? It follows 0 based indexing. If it is a 25th element, means the name of the 25th element is A of 24. It is always n minus 1, because the first element is the A of 0. It is the first element. Next element is A of 1. Next one is A of 2, so on. The A of 24 represents the 25th element. Similarly, A of 50, what is the name of the last 4 element? That is 50th element. That is A of 49 is the 50th element in a given array. So that is the concept of array. How to define? Say it is a grouping of elements. It may be integer, it may be float, it may be character, it may be double, anything. So it is a group of elements. But all group of elements share the same name. There is a 50 elements. Under the name A, means all 50 elements share the same name A. Then if it is a floating type, data type is float, means all 50 elements share the same data type, that is float. So that is the meaning of array. Let's discuss the types of arrays. Types of array. There is a 3 types of array. The first one is one dimensional, two dimensional, then third one is multi-dimensional. These are the 3 types of array. In an array we have 3 types: one dimensional, two dimensional and multi-dimensional. Here dimensionality depends on number of subscripts. The dimensionality is depends on number of subscripts. For example, if it is integer of A of 5, then we call it as it is a one dimensional array. How it is? Array have only one index value, then we call it as one dimensional. Then array have 2 index values. We know that index or subscripts must be written inside the square parenthesis. If the array have 2 index values, then we call it as 2 dimensional. Then multi-dimensional, array have n number of dimensions, or array have more than 2 index values, or array of an array is called multi-dimensional array. Here the dimensionality depends on number of subscripts. If it is one subscript, one dimensional array. If it is integer of B of 5, 2 subscripts, then it is 2 dimensional array. Array of an array or array have more than 2 index values are called multi-dimensional array. So these are the 3 types of an array. Let's discuss one by one in detail. Consider the first one, one dimensional array. In a one dimensional array have only one subscript. In one dimensional array have only one subscript. Only one subscript or index. Only one subscript value or only one index. Hence we call it as one dimensional array. Let's discuss how to declare a one-dimensional array. Declaration of one-dimensional array. So declaration means all arrays are also declared as same as local variable section in a main program. In a main program, first we write the main of the program. After that we declare a local variables, integer of x, y, z, so on. Say arrays are also declared in a local variable section. Let's see how to declare a one-dimensional array in main program. See the syntax. It begins with data type. Then array name, index, array name, index or subscript. That is the syntax of one-dimensional array. See, carefully observe here. Array have only one index value, then index value must be written inside the parenthesis, where data type is a primitive data type. It may be user defined also, but generally we use primitive data types. We are the beginners, hence we discuss only with the primitive data types. Array name is a identifiers. Already we know that what are identifiers. Identifiers are the name given to the programming elements. To frame the identifiers, we must follow identifier rules. What are the rules to frame the identifiers? It must begin with an underscore or an alphabet. Special symbols are not allowed except underscore. Keywords do not use it as an identifiers. Upper and lower cases are distinct. Length of the identifier must be reasonable. To frame the identifier name, we must follow these rules. Then index, it is a positive integer number. It is a positive integer number, must be written inside the square bracket. Must be written inside the square bracket. See here, data type. So it is a primitive data type. What are primitive data types? Integer, float, character, double. So these are the possible values for the data type. Then there is a space between data type and an array. See here, there is a space between data type and an array, where array name is a identifier. It is a name given to the programming elements. Then followed by there is a index value inside the parenthesis, where index is a subscript. It is a subscript. Then it is a positive integer number. It allows only positive integer number. Then must be written inside the square bracket. It must be written inside the square bracket. Here square bracket is a punctuator, have syntactic and semantic meaning. For example, integer of a of 5, float f of 3. So these are the example for one-dimensional array. Then character, data type is char, character s of 50. So these are the example for one-dimensional array. Let's see the first one, integer of a of 5. What is the meaning of integer of a of 5? See the definition of array. All elements, it is a grouping of elements. All elements share the same name and same data type. Here integer of a of 5 means there is a 5 elements. all 5 elements share the same name A and same data type integer. Then how to know the elements? See here, integer of A of 5 is a declaration. How to know there is a 5 elements? The first element is A of 0, second element is A of 1, third element is A of 2, fourth element is A of 3, fifth element is A of 4. All elements share the same name. Then all elements share the same data type. The first element also have integer, second one also have integer, third one is also have integer, fourth one is also have integer, then fifth one is also have integer. Totally there is a 5 elements. So this is the first element, second, third, fourth and fifth. That is we call it as 0 based indexing, starting from 0 to n minus 1. Then if it is a floating means, if it is a floating f of 3, example is float f of 3. What is the meaning of float f of 3? There is a 3 elements. All 3 elements share the same name f, then all 3 elements share the same data type float. What are the 3 elements? So first element is f of 0, f of 1, f of 2. So these are represents the 3 elements. 3 elements means 3 variables. Then all 3 variables share the same name float, then float, then float. So that is the concept of array, homogeneous collection of elements. Homogeneous means all elements share the same name and same data type. If you follow the array, it is easy to access the array elements. See here how to represent the third element in an integer of A of 5. There is a 5 elements. How to identify the third elements? Follow 0 based indexing. A of 2. A of 2 is the third element. How to know the first element? First element is A of 0. How to know the fifth element? Fifth element is A of 4. A of 4 follows the fifth element. We know that it follows 0 based indexing. In a 0 based indexing, we have to represent all elements using 0 to n minus 1 index value. Index value is always begins with 0 and ended with n minus 1 elements. Based on that, we have to identify the elements. In the second example, there is a 3 elements. How to know the third element? It is n minus 1, n value is 3, n minus 1 means it is 2. F of 2 is the third element in a given example. So based on this, we have to access all the elements. So that is the declaration of one dimensional array. After declaration of one dimensional array, we have to initialize the array elements. What is the meaning of initialization? Assigning a value at the time of declaration. Assigning the value at the time of declaration is called initialization. Let's see how to initialize a one dimensional array elements. Initialization of one dimensional. Initialization means assigning a value at the time of declaration. See the syntax to initialize a array elements. We know that array means it is a group of elements. There is a more than one elements. There is a group of elements. So to assign the value, we have to give the group of values. See the syntax. First we have to declare a array, data type, array name, inside the square bracket there is a index, then followed by assignment operator. Inside the flower bracket, here we give the values. Close the initialization. So this is the syntax of initialization, assigning a value at the time of declaration. First we have to declare a array element. then using assignment operator we have to give the values, where data type is any primitive data type or any fundamental data type, array name is a identifier, index is a positive integer number, values are respect to the data type. For example, if it is a integer data type a of 5, what is the meaning of integer of a of 5? There is a 5 elements, all 5 elements share the same name a under the same data type integer. So there is a 5 memory locations. Then for that we have to give the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the initialization. If you initialize like this, what is the first element? A of 0 is the first element, it is initialized by 1. Then second one is a of 1, it is initialized by 2. Next one is a of 2, it is initialized by 3. Next element is a of 3, it is initialized by 4. Next one is a of 5, it is a of 4, it is initialized by 5. It is same as if you initialize one by one. Like this, for example, integer of x equals 20, it is also initialization. It is an initialization of variable, but here it is an initialization of array elements. If it is a grouping of elements, then we have to give the value in a group, then it is must be under the parenthesis. See here, if it is a integer of a of 3, then if you give only 1 and 2 numbers, there is a 3 elements but we have to give 2 numbers, then in that time first element is assigned with 1, second element that is assigned with 2, but there is no value for the third element because there is a 3 elements, we give only 2 values, there is no value for the third element. In that situation, the third element is filled with 0. Then, if it is integer of a of 3, there is a 3 elements. If you assign 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if you give 6 values, we have to declare only 3 elements, but there is a 6 elements means first 3 are stored respectively, that is a of 0 is assigned with 1, a of 1 is assigned with 2, a of 3 is assigned with a of 2 is assigned with 3. First 3 elements are assigned with 3 values, these 3 values, but there is no memory locations for the next 3 elements 4, 5, 6 do not have any memory location. Then the 4, 5, 6 are automatically truncated. What is the meaning of that? There is a declaration of variable, but we have to give a more values for the declared one, then the first elements are stored respectively, remaining elements are automatically truncated. If the values are less than the declared one, then the array elements are filled with 0. But if you give more values than the declared one, then the remaining values are automatically truncated. Be careful about initializing a values. If you give accurate values, then there is no problem. There is a number of elements, there is a number of values, respective elements are assigned. If it is a more declaration, less values, more number of elements, less number of values, then remaining elements are filled with 0. Then the declaration is less, assigning values are more, then the remaining values are automatically truncated because we have not assigned any memory location. Hence, the extra values are automatically truncated. So this is the initialization of one-dimensional array. Let's see how to access a array elements in programming. accessing a array elements. Generally here accessing means have two process. The first one is input, accessing for input, then accessing for output. Accessing elements have two processors. We have to access the element for input, we have to access the element for output. What is the meaning of input? We have to store the value to the array, then we have to print the values from the array. So these are the two concepts, input and output. To access the array elements, we must know the basic concepts. The basic concepts of an array is all elements share the same name and same data type, but only differ in the index value. How it is? See here, integer of a of 5 means, how to know? First element is integer of a of 0, next one is integer of a of 1, next one is integer of a of 2, next one is integer of a of 3, next one is integer of a of 4. So these are the 5 elements. So this is the basic concept of array. See here all data types are same, all names are also same, but only differ in the index value, that is I, only differ in the index value. Then I value is also static. We know that array follows 0 based indexing. The I value is always start from 0 to n minus 1. If it is a 5, then ended with n minus 1. That is, I start from 0 to n minus 1. How it is n minus 1? If it is a 5, last element is 4. If it is a 10, then last element is 9. If it is a 50, last element is 49. Like this, 0 to n minus 1. Using this, it is easy to write the program. How to write? So see here, I values are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. These are the integer numbers. How to generate integer numbers? Using a for loop. I equals 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Just trace this for loop. What is the initial value of I? 0. Then I less than n. What is the value of n here? 5. I plus plus. It is an increment operator. So I is incremented by 1 in every time. So first element is 0. Condition verify. If it is true, I is incremented. It becomes 1. 1 is less than 5. Condition true. Next I plus plus. 2 is less than 5. Next number is 2. I plus plus. 3, I plus plus, next number is 4. When I become 5, 5 less than 5 condition returns false. So it terminates the looping. So using for loop, you have to increase the I value, index value. Then integer and a are the same. To input the array elements, just we write for I equals 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Inside that we use cin extraction, name must be same for all the elements, and I value. This is for accessing a element for input purpose. Cin is a object followed by extraction operator. This operator assigns the value to the variable. A for all the elements, a name of the array is same, only differ in the index values. How to generate the index value? Using a for loop. So cin extraction a of I values is varies from 0 to n minus 1. I less than n means n minus 1. So like this we have to write the output also. How to write? Again we have to use the for I equals 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Instead of cin, here we use cout, insertion a of I value, and move on to the next line, that is endl. So these are these two methods to access a array elements. Just trace the program, this segment, program segment. Here segment are the small program unit. So this program segment generates the sequence. Just trace how to generate the sequence. Consider here there is a 5 elements. I equals 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Initially 0 less than 5, I value is 0 less than 5. Then condition is true, it executes the succeeding statement, that is C in extraction A of 0. That is the first one in the first iteration. In the next iteration, I plus plus. First know the working principle of for loop. In a for loop, initialization evaluates once, then verify the condition. If it is true, succeeding statement is executed. After that, increment or decrement part is evaluated. So first we verify the initialize the I value, that is 0. Verify the condition 0 less than I when I equals 0. Condition is true, C in A of 0. Then I plus plus, I become 1 less than 5 is the condition. Then C in extraction A of I value here is 1. Then I plus plus, in the third iteration I plus plus, I becomes 2 less than 5, 2 less than 5, see the condition, I less than 5, so 2 less than 5, condition is true, C in extraction A of 2. Again in the fourth iteration I becomes 3, so 3 less than 5, again condition is true, C in extraction A of 3. Next in the fifth iteration I becomes 4 less than 5, again condition true, C in extraction A of 5. Then in the sixth iteration I becomes 5, condition I less than 5, returns false, exit from the loop. See the statement, this is the first element, next element, third element, fourth element and fifth element. We have to access all the elements one by one using for loop. Similarly for the output also we have to access each elements at a time. Once first initialize the index value, verify the condition, if it is true, output the element, then I plus plus, increment or decrement part is evaluated. Again this segment is also generate a array elements, but in input we use Cin, we have to assign the value. In an output we use Cout, we have to extract a value from the element. In an array, variables are called elements. So these are the two segments to read and print a array elements. Generally we call it as accessing a array elements. Before going to write the input and output segments, we must read the number of elements. So let's see the example program how to read and print a array elements. Program to read and print array elements. Read and print array elements. So it commonly used include statements. IOStream, CON.io, main of the program. The main of the program, here we declare a variable, that is here variables are the arrays. How to declare a array? Data type, array name, then index value. Here we declare 10 elements. If it is a array in a for loop, it needs index value, number of elements I and n. Along with the array, I and n are the compulsory variables, where I represents the index value, n represents the number of elements in an array. See here, the number of elements must be less than the declared one. Number of elements must be less than the declared one. That is, here we declare A of 10 elements, the n value must be less than 10. Must be less than 10, otherwise the compiler returns an error. CLR SCR, Cout In the beginning, read, enter how many elements? First we have to read number of elements, that is how many elements. See in extraction n, number of elements. After that, enter the array elements. Enter the array elements. How to read the array elements? Using for loop. For I equals 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Without for loop, it is difficult to read and print a array elements, because only differ in the index value, name and data types are same, hence we go for array. Then for is a fixed iterative statement. We know the number of elements, hence it is a fixed iterative statement, hence we choose for loop. Under that, see in extraction name of the array and index value. This segment is used for reading a array elements. To print the array elements, see out. To print array elements or entered array elements are, we have to give any string. What is string? Sequence of character in the double quotation. Either we read to print array elements or entered array elements. To print the array elements, again we use for I equals 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Instead of C in, here we write C out, because we have to print the element. C out, insertion A of I value, then followed by E and DL, end line. Here CH, close the main program. It is a simple program to read and print array elements. Carefully trace the program manually, then observe the programming segments. In the next video, we discuss more program with respect to one-dimensional array. Thank you.